Whoop. That's a full one.
This is mine.
Give him this one.
I should have known it all along. I'm a kiss fish. Floats through the ocean.
Feeling help? This is a fun story.
What a slender squid.
I'm making a rainbow. Oh. A very hungry caterpillar. Is breakfast almost done?
Yeah.
Mommy, I don't want anything.
Now it's on to the Let's take a trip to
Good morning. The kids are eating breakfast, listening to an audio story. I got my herbal coffee. I gotta figure out what I'm having for breakfast, but cheers. It's Sunday today and it actually looks like it's gonna be sunny, which is really, it's chilly, but sunny.
We're going to the park.
We are gonna go to the park today. And guess what? Today is officially June 1st.
It's a home day.
Mother Nature doesn't know it because it's, need water? What?
Mommy, it's a home day.
Where's your water? It's a home day. Okay, let's find your water. Also, thanks to KiwiCo for sponsoring today's video. More about them later on. You wanna help me with the pepper?
Yeah, I do it by myself.
Okay, just don't dip it in the egg. Looks good. Okay, let's get ready. I'm actually just gonna soak these. I just wear these overnight to help with the fine lines, but we're gonna take them off and do some quick skincare because I gotta get ready because where are we going?
For the heart.
We practice. Okay, let me just soak my forehead. And they just come right off.
Done.
It feels like one of those nose strips, but for your forehead. Did it take out any blackheads?
Ready for the park.
You ready for the park?
Yeah, because I got a short t-shirt in case I get hot and my stuff.
One thing that's been really on my mind lately is not only my relationship with screens and social media, but also the relationship that I want to start and build for my kids. Like I was even just searching the other day on YouTube, like videos about like pads and screens and stuff with kids. And I was just trying to like actually do some research for this video and what I want to talk about. But the amount of content that I saw around like iPad tour or like in Toddler, like it wasn't like older kids, it was like for toddlers. What's on my toddler's iPad for learning and stuff. I don't want to judge parents. I was shocked that there's like so much content on this, and then the views were insane. I was like, oh, these like videos are getting so many watches. And then I was looking at, okay, what are the different apps and stuff that parents are putting on their pads and stuff, and like they're just games. I feel like because I'm a millennial and I grew up in the age before smartphones and then after smartphones, I can really view the impact it's had on kids, because I remember what my childhood was like before social media and high-speed internet, and then what it was like after. And like obviously I can't relate to having that straight from the beginning because I didn't have it, but it's like I was alive in a world before and after, and I'm sure like my grandparents are like, I was alive before internet even existed. It's such an interesting point of view because I just think about my childhood and different experiences that I want for my kids that I worry about may be lost because of the online world and the access to it's not so much TV, but portable devices, your phone, pads, tablets, all those things. We just have so much access. People have access to us all the time. And it really makes me think about the relationship I want to have with digital technology, but also how I want to instill those habits and boundaries with my kids. And like, I'm not gonna lie, my worst nightmare is to have iPad kids. You know, to each their own. That's just not what I want to do for my family and my kids, and like that's just not the experience I want us all to have. And you know, some people may argue this is just the way the world is going and you don't want your kids to be left behind, but I actually don't agree with that. I just think we can still, just like anything, create boundaries and limit time spent on these devices. And like they're literally built to be super distracting, super addicting, and just like anything in life, you know, moderation is key. And I just don't want my kids to be addicted to these at such a young age. I feel like it really impacts their creativity, their mental health. I can tell how it impacts me as an adult. And like, it's hard for me to like limit my time on these because they really are so addicting. I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna open this app for like 5 minutes, and then half an hour goes by and I'm still just like doom scrolling. I can only imagine what it's doing to a small developing child and brain. When we're like, oh my God, life was so slow when we were a kid because we weren't so aware of time and we didn't have such distracting devices that literally makes time go by so fast. Why do you think you want to pull out your phone when you're waiting in line, or you know, you're stuck in traffic or something? It's because we are constantly looking to fill any void with something else, and that can easily make time go by so fast. So really, if you want to add more time to your life, just like live in the present and like get off social media. I'm not like all or nothing. Like I love YouTube. I love longer content and stuff that I can learn from, engage with, stuff that's like so short and fast paced. I feel like it is very jarring to my mind, especially if there's like no educational aspect of it at all, nothing I'm learning from the content. Like, yeah, sometimes it's just for, you know, entertainment, but I feel like my brain can only really take in so much of that content before I literally feel like overstimulated from it. And I feel like icky. If you've doom scrolled before, you know that like icky feeling. It's like a pit in your stomach, like, ugh, that didn't feel good. I definitely feel like in the past year, I've made more of a conscious effort to make small habits and just our daily routines that I feel like have made a big difference with our kids. More so in my 4-year-old, because like Oakley's only 1. He's still not really aware of the TV. And I think he's like used a pad maybe once, like when I just had it in the back of the car, like in the seat so they can watch a movie together when we were doing like a road trip down south. Oh, and when we were in the ER a couple weeks ago because he bumped his head, we also definitely watched some movies on it because, you know, we were in there for a couple hours. So I really want to talk about in today's video different things that we're doing and how we are structuring our life around technology. We are not like an all or nothing. I know some families are like, we do 0 screen time. We don't even own a TV. And I think that's amazing for you. That is awesome. I don't think we are there yet. I don't know if we would ever be there yet. Like I love a cozy movie night cuddle with the family on the couch. Like I really do. And I think that there's a big difference of watching a movie together as a family, talking about it, snuggling, as opposed to just like plopping your kid on there, watching movie after movie, not being present with them doing that. And like I said, this is not to judge people. Guys, we use TV. It saves us so many times, especially if the kids are sick, teething. We've had a long day. We were overtired, overstimulated, exhausted. I love a good TV sesh. I'm not anti-TV, but there are things that we have done to create a better relationship with it. It can feel like giving them the pad or letting them like watch TV while you're getting things done. It feels easier, but there is another way, and it just makes life so much calmer. It makes them listen more, calmer behavior, less meltdowns. Like, it is night and day the way my daughter is before versus now. So anyways, we're gonna go get some fresh air, get some nature. It's getting cloudy, so I'm hoping it doesn't rain, but we're gonna go get our steps in. So one thing I want to mention too is how different our mornings used to be. We used to just have Sage chill out on the couch, watch TV, eat her breakfast on her lap. And it was such an easy thing to get into the habit of, versus now we have the kids. It was kind of a bad habit that we got into, and then I got pregnant with Oakley, and it was just like how we were surviving at the time. Versus now we start the mornings with no TV, it's audio players, or I put on a podcast. And you might think there's no way my kids are gonna enjoy that when they're used to the TV on in the morning. They will adapt and transition so quickly. Like Sage this morning, I set up like some coloring stuff for her and put the like already a story on, and she actually like was excited about it. Our mornings were so much more chaotic, even with just 1, than they are now with 2. And it just like sets the tone for the day. Everybody's calm, there's less meltdowns, and also it's faster to get things done. Like we were out the door early, no one's late for anything, and I don't know. Now I'm comparing the 2 different mornings and how they would go. Like I much prefer the one without the TV. So we really try to save it to the end of the day instead of starting the day with it. Okay, I got my water. Oakley, Sage, where's your water?
I'm downstairs.
Downstairs?
It's on the cap.
Are you gonna bring your baby?
Yeah.
Yeah. You look like you're going on a hike.
I want to walk there.
Yeah, we are gonna walk there. We're gonna get our steps in. Rule number 1 for enjoying the outdoors: always bring snacks and waters. Okay? Because as soon as you leave the house, you're gonna be like, "Mommy, I'm thirsty and hungry." Here you go. So I told you, snacks and water right away. Yeah. So we were out for a little nature walk with the kiddos. Cashy's happy place. Also, it's just so good for like our health as well. Like gets the kids' energy out, gives them exercise, so good for their mental health, calms their energy, helps regulate their nervous system, and also just helps strengthen their immune system. Like being outdoors, I feel like isn't talked enough about for kids' health and why it's so good for them, and just even their microbiome and stuff, like getting exposed to the different bacteria and elements outside is so good for their immune system, for their gut. And I also believe it helps with preventing allergies. I don't know for sure, but like I just feel like as much as you can expose your kids to the elements outdoors, it's just really going to help them, you know, overall in so many aspects of life. Our kids, like, they are so comfortable being outside, and it's something you can do as a family and just be present with your kids. And I usually try to, you know, put my phone away and just really take in like the views and the environment. And it just, like, if I'm feeling stressed out, it just totally calms everything. And so I can only imagine what it's doing to my kids and helping build that connection with nature. And because it gets their energy out, it means that they're more likely to have a really good nap and or quiet time. If your kids aren't napping anymore, let's find some rocks. So if your kids are really hyperactive and they're just like crazy indoors, get them outside. I feel like both of them are so much calmer if we just get them outside, and it's a great activity for the whole family. So I'm just very grateful to have this so close to us. It's just a very special place to come to and start our day with. We like to do outdoor time as early in the day as possible so that it just, once again, it sets the tone for the rest of the day. Okay, I gotta go.
Up we go. Up the hill.
Now, when it comes to toys and what we like to keep in our playroom, we usually try to avoid like the really loud, noisy, more battery operated toys. Oakley, I have something for you. Instead, we opt for more STEM-based learning activities. So we have been using KiwiCo ever since Sage was a baby, and now Oakley loves them too. They have different clubs to choose from depending on your child's age. Oakley gets the Panda Crate, which is ages 0 to 36 months, and Sage gets the KiwiCo Sprout, which is for ages 3 and 5. They're on a subscription, so they get automatically delivered to your door, so it's one less thing you have to think about. Oakley's comes every 2 months, whereas Sage's is a monthly subscription. I also love that they all come with this little Wonder Play Guide, which allows you to understand what is inside, how to use them, and just different things you might want to know about what they're learning at different ages. Even shows you what's going on with their brain development, and also different ways on how to play with the different activities that come inside the crate. And then on the back of here, it shows you what is inside this crate. We have some balancing crayons, so I love that those are multi-purpose. We have some wood color blocks, a star drop maze, wood cart and people. He loves pretend imaginary play. And since we don't do a lot of screen time, having hands-on learning activities like this is honestly key, and they just don't get bored of them as quickly as other things. I find they will go back to the same thing again and again and play with it different ways. I'm very intentional when it comes to what we're bringing inside our home, in our playroom, and what my kids are interacting with every single day. I want to make sure that it's stimulating enough, but they're also learning, and it's not something that they're going to get bored of in like one play session. Not to mention, I love that everything is made with more sustainable materials like wood. I just prefer wood over everything being plastic. We also got this really awesome color wheel racers and ramp. Use my code Nikole to save 50% off your first crate when you join a club for kids ages 3 and up. Or it'll get you 20% off on your first Panda Crate, which is the one that Oakley is using right now. Oh, that one's cool. Okay, I'm sure you're like, what do your kids actually watch on the TV if you aren't watching TV as much? Basically, in the last like year, I have started to switch more to low stimulation shows. AKA slow TV is what I've seen a lot of people call it. Slow TV are basically shows that are made in a calmer, quieter, slower pace form, and a lot of times your kids can watch it but they're not totally sucked in. I also find they're just less glued to it, so it's easier for them to step away from the TV. I find slow TV also allows them to be more creative and interact with what they're watching. A lot of times I'll find Sage like talking to me about what she's watching, whereas if she's watching something that is more fast-paced, she is just trying to keep up and she is like glued to that screen. And essentially a lot of shows that are created now are filmed and edited in a way that they're really fast-paced, using a lot of bright colors, loud sounds, fast transitions, and they are essentially made in a way to grab your child's attention and keep it for a longer period of time, and then they're just kind of like glued to the screen. It's like, you know, zombie mode, as I like to call it. I have slowly switched to more slow TV options. So things like Trash Truck, I feel like was our gateway drug into the slow TV world. We recently really have liked Puffin Rock, even just like classics that I grew up watching, like Magic School Bus, Franklin. It's funny that just like the regular shows I watched as a kid are now considered like these like slow TV options, like in the special category, but that was just TV for us. Things today now are so different. I feel old saying this. When I was a kid, what I watched was so different, like it really was. And I actually prefer for my kids to watch the shows that I grew up watching because they are just way less stimulating. And I can tell the difference when my kids watch those shows compared to things that are really fast paced, like Paw Patrol, PJ Masks. No hate on those shows. We watched those for definitely a couple years. But I just, as we switch over to these other options, I have noticed such a difference in my 4-year-old, her relationship with TV, screen time. She's way less addicted to it. We really just watch a couple shows at the end of the day. And because they're low stimulation shows, she is less glued to the TV. She's less committed. It's easier for transitions. If we're switching it off, we'll give her a little warning. So pay attention when your kids are watching what's on TV. How are they behaving? Are they totally like out of it if you're like, hello? And sometimes I'll see a show like that. I just don't like how the characters are interacting with each other. There's this like ballerina movie that she really liked when she was younger, but it was given like Mean Girl vibe. One character was really mean to the other one. And I like, it's not just about the type of content, but the storyline that I look at too. I'm not trying to control every little thing that she watches, but also kind of because she's just 4, she's so little. And so I want to be mindful that the content that she is watching is age appropriate. We also transitioned out of some of her favorite shows by switching to audio stories. So we do play like Paw Patrol stories and stuff, and she doesn't even ask for it anymore. I'm not anti Paw Patrol, but I just find the show is a little bit overstimulating, especially for watching it later on in the day. And don't even get me started on Cocomelon. That show I just really don't like. I had Sage watching that at a young age, and the way she turned into zombie mode was insane. I did not like how she reacted to that show, so we stopped putting that on at a very young age. I was like, we are not doing Cocomelon. I do not like it. It's just, you watch it and you just like get sucked right in. Even as an adult, I'm like, ugh. It's like the songs, the coloring, the transitions. I don't know, there's something about it that just like glues kids to the screen, and I just don't like how they behave with it. So we have been an anti-Cocomelon household pretty much since Sage was 1. And I'm also gonna link all of my favorite slow TV options down below. Feel free to add some more options in the comments and give me some new ideas, especially for our trip coming up. I'm definitely looking for new options. Okay, travel. That is the hardest time where you're like, do we just let our kids like rot in front of the pad? And yes, this is the time that I would suggest that you utilize screen time. I will say that the more you implement boundaries and structure around screen time and switch to more low stimulation shows and content, your kids will have such a different relationship with it. The fact that we didn't even really need to use pads the entire road trip down was actually crazy because they just entertained themselves. They were happy with the toys that we brought. We were prepared with the snacks and the toys. They just weren't like battery screen operated options. And we definitely had the pads there under the seats for emergency, but we didn't talk about it. We didn't bribe the kids with it. We just left it there. And then we brought it out if we needed it. We are actually packing right now for an upcoming family trip. More about it soon. And I'm really excited, but I'm also trying to think how we're navigating the screen time. So we are bringing our pads. I have this little travel case and some origami. So we already Matt preloaded some shows and movies. Same thing. We picked the ones that we've been switching to at home, and we have them all loaded, a variety. I really like doing more long form like movies instead of just short videos all the time. I don't actually think our flight even has like the TVs on the back of the seats, which is kind of annoying, but that's why we bring the pads. And so I have this. We're gonna start with, I got some activity workbooks. I got some of those like mess-free coloring books and also some magnetic stuff like toys and activities for Oakley. And then we are gonna have this at the end if they need it, especially for like when you're you're waiting in lineups and stuff to get your luggage or a car rental, that is when you definitely need something extra to get you through it, especially if they're just like overtired and cranky. That is definitely when we want to use this. Both kids have one. I like this one. It has a stand, so I can actually place it on a table and they're not necessarily holding it in their hand. I remember reading something one time about there is a difference between a child holding the screen, whether it's like a phone or a pad in their hand, versus it being away from them, just like a TV on the wall. And I definitely don't let my kids hold or touch my phone unless I'm showing them some photos or we're FaceTiming. I will usually put it up on something. Sometimes I'll let my daughter carry it around if she's like showing, you know, I have some family right now in Portugal, so like if she's showing them around, she can hold it, but I don't just let her sit there and scroll, because you can see how quickly it gets addicting. My girlfriend actually puts her phone on black and white mode so that when her 1-year-old does pick up the phone, he's less interested in it, which I thought was a really cool idea. But I just have a no phone holding policy. I try to keep my phone away so the kids can't grab it, and if I'm addicted to it, there's no way that they're not going to be addicted to it if they start holding it. Both kids have a pad, but in our household they are strictly used for traveling or long road trips. I would say more than an hour. We don't use them at home. We don't use them if we're going down the road in the car. We will bring them to restaurants for when we're going to be there for a long time and everyone's eaten and maybe, you know, Matt and I just want to have a few more minutes, some adult conversation, then Sage can watch something. But honestly, since we had Oakley and now that he's old enough to also be interested in the pad, we have not had to use it yet at a restaurant. We try to avoid it because we realize her watching it is going to introduce it to him at a very young age, and I'm just not comfortable with that yet. So instead we just bring toys and extra snacks and ask for dessert, whatever we need to do to have a few moments of just relaxation when we're out at a restaurant. It's our like emergency backup plan. This is definitely coming with us on our trip. Okay, Sage is showing me her kite that she made at school today.
We need actually wind.
Okay, go really fast. That's so fun. This is a kite.
I got to make Oakley's name.
Oh,
It's for staring.
I love that. There you go, a fun craft idea for your kids. A little brown paper bag. So you're gonna bring this out to the park?
Yeah.
Guys, I feel so humbled right now. Sage is showing me something she made at school and she's kept calling it the monster. Guess what's on the back?
Butter.
Oakley's been loving these homemade, they're like sour cherry gummies. I love these because they are just naturally sweetened and they have collagen in them, so they have some protein, like a few simple ingredients. Are really easy to make. Do you want water?
No.
Whoa! Whoa, my God, Oakley. Holy. I just want to say, if you're watching this video and thinking, I could not survive a day parenting without screen time, I just want to tell you how much easier, as I wrestle my 1-year-old right now for bed. I just want to tell you, as someone who I feel like was much more relaxed with screen time as I am now, it has been easier now with less TV. I never thought I would say that. I always thought like, oh, like it's, you know, it's better for them to have less TV, but it just makes things harder. Now doing less TV, I can honestly say it makes our days easier. My kids are calmer. They're able to deal with their big emotions better. They listen better. They're better eaters. If you have a picky eater or a child that is just very emotional and has a lot of like, you know, big feelings, tantrums, whatever you want to call them, try reducing the screen time exposure, because I really do feel like it just messes up their nervous system. It just changes their behavior in a way. Like I can tell when Sage has watched too much TV and we need to bring it back a little bit. I also just feel more present with my kids and it helps me reduce my screen time and social media scrolling as well, because I want to be the example for my kids and I don't want my kids to always see me on the phone. I can talk about my routine around screen time and stuff in another video, but I have just already noticed such a difference in my mental health, and I want to instill these practices for my kids as well for their mental health. I'm like, guys, my life is so much easier and calmer. By calmer, I don't mean not fun. So they definitely They definitely having fun. Hey. Our daily routines just run smoother. Transitions from one thing to another is smoother. Like even tonight we did 0 TV time. We usually do a little TV time every day, especially for our 4-year-old. Oakley is just kind of like, it's on if it's on for our daughter, but he's obviously like still young to be like asking for TV, although he's starting to, so it starts early. Okay, perfect timing because my battery's gonna die. Don't forget to check out KiwiCo. I'm gonna have them linked down below. Use my code Nikole to get 50% off your first crate when you join any club for kids ages 3 and up. And then if you're doing the Panda crate, you'll get 20% off for your first purchase with my code as well. So I'm going to have everything linked down below. Go to kiwico.com/healthnut. I'll have it linked down below for you guys. Hope you guys enjoyed today's video. I would love to hear from you guys what your routine is when it comes to screen time, and just, yeah, what your structure is. What are your thoughts on it? Whether you do 0 screen time or you guys like live off the TV. There is no judgment. I'm just curious, and I would love to have the conversation in the comments down below. Breastfeeding a 1-year-old is so different than a baby, but we are here and going strong. Okay, I gotta go. Bye. Bye. Say bye.